Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Good News Lady Show. I am really excited about today's show. I have a story that's what I would call a twofer. It's a great story about a great story. It also happens to feature one of my favorite people in the entire world, a very good friend of mine. And before I forget, I'm going to have links down below for all the good stuff we're talking about the book we're talking about, and most importantly, a free invitation to access Audible. Have you ever wanted to try out an audiobook? Well, here's a free way to do it. You don't have to pay. I mean, you pay for the book, but you don't have to pay for the access. So be sure you check down below and click on that and sign up and float around. And I really hope you check out the book that we're going to talk about today, which is the Munich Cowboys Cheerleaders. It is based on a true story, a very inspiring story that I've kind of known about for a long time, but even knowing about it, listening to this book made it come alive better than I'd ever heard it before. So I want to go ahead and welcome in my good friend, Kathy Murray, and her co-author, best-selling New York Times author, Martha Hall Kelly. Kathy Murray and Martha Hall Kelly, welcome to the Good News Lady Show. It is so great to have you both on. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time.
Thank you.
So excited to be here.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I love this story, I was explaining that this is a story about a story. And I love both parts of it. So first, I want to start with the story that is in the actual book. And Kathy, that is your story. So what happened?
What happened was I was working in medical sales, and I absolutely hated it after like the fourth year, fifth year, and just knew it was not for me. And I got the opportunity to go to Munich to teach, to be a freelance fitness instructor. And in Germany, I went kind of everywhere, Italy and Austria. And from there, while I was teaching, I got the opportunity to coach the cheerleaders. And they cheered for American football, they cheered in English, but obviously my German was terrible at that point. So it was really, we didn't have Google Translate. I had the little pocket dictionary. That became an opportunity to take the girls who knew nothing about cheerleading and kind of start from scratch. This is how you hold a pyramid. This is how you hold a stunt. And then when they said, hey, we have championships, and I said, let me see one. And they gave me a video, and I was like, wow, this is terrible. Well, we're starting from the bottom and we're going to the top. So that's how that started. And they just became stronger, doing a conditioning program. They weren't conditioned, they were smoking. So it was really a fish out of water for them and for me, saying, oh, you don't do that. You don't smoke when you're cheerleading. So just to teach them a lot of things on what cheerleading was about, especially coming from America.
So, at its base, it's something that people can relate to. Who hasn't hated their job? And if you're in this job that you hated, what if you had a chance to completely reinvent your life in a way that you didn't even know is possible in a foreign land?
Right. I think that it was such a snap decision. I knew what I didn't want to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do yet, but that particular time in my life was like, okay, yeah, I can actually do that, and they're going to pay me, and give me an apartment to live for free. It was just like, okay, I'm going to pack my stuff up, and I'll figure it out when I come back.
So that's that story of reinvention. Martha, you also have kind of a story of reinvention. You had a dream. This is before all this comes together with this book, but you had a dream of becoming a novelist, to which you could say, well, who doesn't? But you actually made it happen. And boy, did you make it happen. You made it happen as becoming a New York Times bestselling author. How did that start?
Well, actually, I never wanted to be a writer, ever.
What were you before?
I was a copywriter in advertising. I wrote TV commercials and print ads, but I had retired from that and raised 3 kids and, had a life playing tennis, basically. And I went up to a house that's now a museum of a woman who had passed away named Caroline Faraday. And to make a long story short, I discovered that she had brought a group of concentration camp survivors, an all-female concentration camp Polish women, to the United States to get them rehabilitation back in the 50s. And I just thought, how did that story get lost? And so I didn't even think, oh, I'm going to write a book. I just started researching her because I was interested in her. And then it wasn't until I moved to Atlanta that I actually wrote it. Went through Starbucks one day and got caffeinated and just, I don't know what happened to me. But when I was training with Kathy in Atlanta, I used to talk to her a lot about the book, and she was like my therapist. It was really helpful because,
Right.
getting published is hard.
Let me just jump in here because it's an interesting way that your friendship started. And I understand because my friendship with Kathy started the same way. Kathy is a professional trainer. She's the one you go to when you say, I really need to finally get in shape. I need to do something. So that's how you guys met. And in part of that is physical therapy, and part of it's mental therapy. You share your life. So you were sharing your dream with Kathy.
Absolutely. And she was amazing. We joke that she was like a therapist, but it really was true. And it's super helpful. Kathy, you should talk to this about from your end. What was that like?
Well, Darren also knows that, yes, I'm very comfortable with my dual role of therapist and personal trainer. You have an hour to listen and try to motivate people to exercise and get healthy, but also Martha would, tell me about this book, and I thought this is awesome. And it felt like it was my book because I had been with her from the beginning on writing it. And I now want to try to find someone to publish it, an agent. And I just was, always this is going to happen. This is a great story. Just kind of try to make her calm and just let her know that it's going to happen. You have to put it out there. Martha, she would always listen to my stories from Germany also. And she would always she was jesting, but it's amazing that we're here. And she would say, hey, I'm going to put that's going to be the part of the Kathy Murray story. She would always say that, and we laugh and, not even think anything about it. And, here we are.
Right. And so I want to get to that part in a second. But first of all, Martha, I don't want to underplay what you've been able to accomplish. You wrote your novel. So that's, you've already done with more people than who say they're going to do it. You did it. You got like the biggest agent in the business, and you became a New York Times bestselling author. I mean, talk about hitting it.
Hearing you say it is crazy.
Right. Yeah. Trifecta. Yeah.
And I speak as a failed novelist. So I'm.
Did you write a book?
Yeah, no. So I've written a couple books myself, and I did do the novel thing, and I turned it into my book agent, and he said it was so bad he said he couldn't even submit it. So I appreciate more than most what you've put into this and what you have.
Because you've been through it.
Succeeded in, exactly. So you reach that. And in that, now kind of the tables kind of flip. So Kathy mentions that Kathy has this great story that you've talked about over the years. And you're like, that can be a book. And then it's Kathy, the one who doesn't believe. So how did you convince her, and how did we get to here? And Martha, you take it from there.
Well, I moved back to Connecticut. My husband had been the CEO of the Weather Channel. And once that was over, we were free to go back to Connecticut, which was sad because I had to leave Kathy. And she got me in really good shape. So we did it over Zoom, which was great. And then Audible approached me through my agent about doing an Audible book. And they said, you can write whatever you want to write about. And I instantly thought, what about the Kathy Murray story? And and I talked to my agent about it, and she said, great, whatever you want to do. And so I asked Kathy if she wanted to do it. And at first she was a little reluctant, or a little kind of like, what, but so Kathy, what did you think when I approached you about it?
I thought Martha Hall Kelly, New York Times bestseller, she could write on anything that she wanted to write about. So when you said, well, I'm going to pitch your story, and I think I just said, what story? And you said, your story. And I had sent her a video of when I did the Crystal Light, and she was just like, oh, I'm just so inspired by that. And I
love that video.
She said, I watch it all the 20 times.
It's so inspiring.
Like, are you sure? Because you can,
you can write about anything.
You can write about anything.
Tell me more about what's in this video. Tell all of us, because I've seen it.
There was a competition called the Crystal Light National Aerobic Championship in the 80s. I was finishing up at Ohio State, and so was my roommate. And Madonna, she had moved on to get her graduate degree at New York University, and she saw the competition and said, "Let's enter this aerobic competition." So we decided to enter this aerobic competition. I mean, it was national. We had to win a regional and then go to the finals out in California. So we went to New York to compete. We were totally clueless. We just had on regular unitards, and everyone was sequins and flashy. We were totally a fish out of water. But obviously the routine was so incredible that we won the regional. And then we went on to California. It was filmed at NBC Studios to win the national championship. And it was a group of 6 of us. It was the mixed pair. We were mixed pair. I mean, not mixed pair, teams of 3, mixed pair individuals at the time. And then we had a team that we traveled all around the world. We went to Japan, representing Crystal Light, General Foods and Crystal Light. So that's how this video came about. And I don't even know how I even sent you the video. I can't remember that.
I think just because we were talking about it, and or maybe I found it online or something.
You found it online.
Yeah, I found it.
Yes.
And just kept playing it. It is I don't know. I just feel so good when I watch that. You're so happy and so talented. It's unbelievable.
Well, thank you.
So this is what was the seed that turned into the Munich Cowboys Cheerleaders. What about the challenge and just even the idea of an Audible book? That's different. That is a different animal.
Well, I always, not always, I've only had 3 novels, but they always, Random House makes them into Audible books or audiobooks. Mm-hmm. And so, but I've never written something specifically just for audio. So it was really interesting, but we had a wonderful editor, Laura Blockman, and she gave us examples of other really good audiobooks, and we listened to those. And I just tried to make it come alive the best way that I could. You know, I always try to do that, but especially when you're just listening to it, I think it's important that it really is almost visual in a way. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we just launched in.
So I love this was, I think, really one of my first audiobooks that I listened to. So I just want to make a pitch to readers out there who think, well, I read books, but not audiobooks. It's a really good experience, especially when you're kind of doing something. Like we're moving into this new house. So I was doing my closet and I was also in Munich.
Totally, you can multitask. Yeah. Living
this overcoming obstacle story that I really love. And as I mentioned at the top, we have a link down below that gets you a free membership, a limited free membership to Audible. So you can get in and then buy the book right there. So I want people to be encouraged with that. As I was listening to it, I do have to say, I was picturing a movie. So when are we turning this into a movie?
From your lips to God's ears.
We're working on it.
We need to get that hotshot agent working on that.
Yes,
we did talk about just briefly doing another audiobook. You know, there are more facets of Kathy's life that we need to delve into. The early years.
Yeah.
It is a story of overcoming obstacles. It's a story of reinvention. It's a story of women supporting women. These are all the things that I love about it. But really, at the end of the day, it's just a really good story.
Thank you.
Is why I would encourage people to download it and listen to it.
Thank you.
So congratulations to both of you. Really.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darren.
So again, we're going to have links down below. You can get into Audible for free, links to the book. Also, Martha, I'm going to put a link to your Martha Hall Kelly page on Amazon, because even separate from all this, I love and I am a longtime fan of your novels.
Thank you. That's so nice.
You on everything you've been able to achieve. And I would say survive as well, because to survive Kathy and Murray workouts, that is an accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Unto its own. Ladies, thank you so much. And thanks for taking time to be part of the Good News Lady Show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. It's been a joy.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye.